Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this fine Thursday morning? Or as we say, Friday Junior. Shout out to that chick, yo, she stay on the radio. I promise you. No matter what time I launch, she on the ready. We call that consistency. We call that consistency. What up, D-Rob? How you doing, my guy? Salute. Toronto Riggins, girl, I feel you. I know what it's like to wake up and still not be up, but you're moving. You're making things happen, but you still haven't quite woke up just yet. I know the struggle. I know it. I feel it. What up, Mo? Shout out to the sisters. And of course, the people, I know Craig G, he a little under the weather, so I just want to send a special shout out to him. Recover fast, my G. You've been burning the road up. You've been making it happen. Proud of you. Kay, I know she been under the weather a little bit too. But it's that time of year, man. The weather is, especially if you live in the South. In the North Carolina region. One week is 80, the next week is 30. So we get that over here. It's cool. You know, it ain't stable like out in Texas, you know. And it ain't many times I'm going to say Texas is stable. But when it comes to this weather thing, Texas kind of got it figured out. I'm a little envious. I ain't going to even lie. I'm a little envious about the weather in Texas. What up, boo? Somebody has joined us from the land of the sleepy people. Man, we are fast approaching Christmas. We are fast approaching the end of another year. Seemed like we were just here last year this time. Not us as a group, but you know what I mean. As a culture, as a world, man. Life, yeah, NC weather is definitely bipolar. But we get all 4 seasons, and I like that. I enjoy having 4 different seasons, although we do have some long summers or long falls and early springs. And every now and then we'll get that long winter where we get coated with ice and snow. Hadn't had one of those in a while, but I ain't gonna jinx it either. So I'm gonna let sleeping dogs lie. But yeah, man, time has gone by so fast. And for the last 3 months now, 3.5 months almost, we've been consistently on here, man. And I know if you wasn't used to getting up at 7 a.m. to be tuned into something, I salute you. If you chose to make this show a part of your mornings, I salute you. I salute you. Because incorporating new things into your circle, into your life, into your mind is not always easy. It's very challenging because we have our routines and we have our habits. Hey, Bonnie. Oh, man. But anywho, man, I was just thinking this last week, because I'm off next week. And I'm going to say that again. I am off next week. I am doing nothing but exactly what I want to do in a place where there is a little bit more sunshine, and probably a lot of families going to be there. And so I know that presents its challenges in itself. When you're away from home for a few days, you know, certain things change, certain habits change. And so you need all your energy and your strength to deal with the changes. But as what was that? Y'all saw that little glitch. I don't know what that was. But as I'm thinking about, I'm basically in my mind. I do this every year. I lay down, I recap the year. I sit down. I'm tired. I want to lay down. I sit down and I recap my year. And I think about things that I had successes in. I think about the things that I failed in. I think about the things that I could do a little bit better. And that's in all areas of life. Work, my profession, my career. I think about, am I heading in the right direction? Am I fulfilled with what I'm doing? I think about the family. I think about, okay, what bumps in the road did we have? What would I like to see going forward? And what kind of mending can I do to relationships? Because relationships need constant work. Constant work. And the moment you think you got it figured out, the moment you start taking that person or those people for granted, it's easy to disengage. Easy to disengage. But sometimes, I'm going to be honest, some years are rougher than others. So much so that we get to December and we just take the whole month of December off as much as possible anyway, without losing the gigs. And we go into January with the saying. What's that saying? What's that saying we go into every January? Somebody tell me if they know what saying I'm referring to. If they know what saying I'm talking about. Every new year we go into it. Every new year we get into a space where we want to redo some things. We want to make it different, make it better. Who knows? New year? Same me. That's pretty close. There you go, D-Rob. New year, new me. New year, new me. Yeah. And I've seen it on t-shirts. I see gifts. I see memes every year. Bobby said, I keep it real. And that's one thing I do love about you. You do keep it real. For better or for worse, you are who you are. And that's really the only way to be. That's really the only way to be. Because if you're going to be in my circle, if you're going to be in my space, if we're going to work together, if we're going to do business together, you need to know who I am. You need to be able to accept that, digest it, process it, and let it flow. And so I can do the same for you. And now we can have harmonious relationships. But that's not always the case. Most cases, we are hiding ourselves. We are letting our representative speak for us. Until the representative says, okay, my job is done, I'm out. And then the real you show up and they're like, what the hell was this? Who are you and what have you done with the person that I actually like? Monique says, shaking my head was for the new year, saying me. I'd much rather hear that if there was going to be no new changes. So while we in this vein, let me ask a question. When things get tough, when things come against you, when people hurt you, disappoint you, when careers don't go as planned, when choices come back and consequences follow, why do you keep going? Or do you keep going? my life, I'll just give you a sample of what my life is. And mind you, it's all perspective. Somebody can see my life, my work ethic, my things that I do, and say, you're not doing enough. And others would look at it and say, you're doing too much. But quite honestly, that's for me to decide. So I throw around sometimes when I don't really say it until I'm frustrated. And I said, bruh, I'm working like 90 hours a week right now. And most people, ooh, I like that. Toronto Riggin says, new year, same me, but with a different mindset. Almost sound like new hero, same boots. Oh, it's the same hero, new boots. I think it's same hero, new boots. But yeah, my typical week goes like this. You guys know, I was a freelance videographer for quite some time. And this year, I took a job as a production specialist. And basically, as a production specialist, my job is to oversee video productions, anywhere where there's media being done, anywhere there's like audio visual services happening. My job is really, I'm staffing, sometimes working, setting up, organizing, planning, overall management of production. But that's one thing that I do. It's not a 9 to 5 kind of thing. It's kind of still in the freelance space, but it has a W-2 attached to it. It's not less. I'm not a 1099 anymore. But also, I do a series of like parent resources, whether it's parenting classes or coaching, training sometimes. And so my weeks vary, but it's intermingled with both of those things. And for those of you who are watching, you already know I'm doing morning motivation 5 days a week. And so just those 3 things alone, and I'm doing 2 other things. It's like, where do I have the time to do all the things that I am doing? Why do I keep doing it? And how am I able to maintain my energy? How am I able to be successful with such a split focus? Well, truth be told, as divided as it may seem, it's not that much of a split focus because they're both leading me to the same place. I'm dividing and conquering. The only problem is that I don't have a dedicated team to help with that. So that's going to be my thing for next year. I'm going to start bringing team members in next year. We'll start with 1 to kind of see how it goes, and then we'll progress from there. So that is that's been my year. That has been my year. And sometimes your boy gets tired, but I keep going. The question is why? I asked you earlier, why? Why do you keep going when things get tough? Why do you keep going when why do you keep going when you feel like you're at your wit's end, or as they say, you burn the candle at both ends? How? Why? Where do you get this energy and strength from? I think I just gave it away. It's your why. Your why is going to give you the passion to keep going, to keep doing it. Your why is going to be what's going to fuel you, the reason behind all of the work, all of the struggles. But I will say, last year and this current year have been pretty much the same workload. And at the end of both years, there have been a really big payoff. So for me, it's been worth it. It's been worth it for me. But like I said, somebody else might say it, see what I'm doing, and say you're not doing enough. Or they might tell me I need to even be more focused on one thing first and then expand to other things. It's all perspective. However, success does leave clues. Monique says, like this job, nah, something has to change. I feel you. It's nothing worse than going to a space and it's okay at first, but the money is adequate. It does what it needs to do for your family. But you kind of make too much to leave. At least leave easily without, having that bridge to the next thing. I feel you. Toronto Regan says, there's always a fight in me not to give up. Is my whys. So wait, your fight is your why? I'm a little, help clarify that for me, Toronto. Is the why, is the fight your reason? Is that your why? Monique says you keep going because you have a goal in mind and you have family. Yeah. But Monique, what do you do when the family is ungrateful? What do you do when nobody appreciates the work? Does that change anything? Do you still keep going? Or do you switch it up a little bit? Do you sit back and take a little time off because they some ungrateful, unappreciative folk? Because it happens. It happens all the time. Why y'all typing that in? I want to ask another question. Like I said, today is kind of free. Today's kind of loose. Because I'm thinking about this whole year, man. And there's been so much that's happened. And I want to kind of get my mind, because I've already transitioned mentally to next year and what's going to be going on next year. But before I get too far down the road, I really want to recap. I want to recap about this particular show. I want to recap with projects that I have working. And I want to see if it moves the needle at all. If it's something that I need to continue. Because next year is going to be, I'm really going to be more strategic next year in the speaking space. Because I left freelance and I took a job in production, and that's going to be my exit back into the speaking, because I was speaking the majority of the time. Because freelancing is easy because you can take jobs or not take jobs. I can go a month and not take a job and still work the next month. And I can just go speak for this whole month. But I'm really dialing myself in the next 2 years to become a full-time speaker, storyteller, slash, somebody said voiceover artist yesterday. But I'm going to start using my talents, my passion talents, the ones that I just really get that charge from, the ones that I'm most passionate about this year coming up. That's what I'm really diving into. Let's see. Monique says, I take a break from them and keep going. I take a break from them and I keep going. And let me do this again. I take a break from them and keep going still for them and for myself. I like how you add that last part. Toronto Regan said, no, I'll never give up. I'll never allow the thought of quitting defeat me. My kids are my whys. My parents are my whys. Okay. So it's the family unit. You are setting standards? You are the gladiator for your family. Monique says, I have a whole 4-year-old. Yeah, a whole 4-year-old to raise. Yeah, man. You get your journey is it's still a lot of peril in your journey. It is a long journey. 'Cause 4-year-old, man, that means you got about another 94 years. And he don't take no days off, for sure. Yeah. That, and honestly, Mo, that's also one of the reasons why I started, this particular channel. It's one of the reasons why I started it, because it's hard to break the habit of what you're doing, your normal routine, your normal way of doing things. And sometimes when you get comfortable, you don't want to shake that up. Has anybody ever made a change in their career that they regretted? Has anyone ever made a change in their career that they regretted? Now, I've left a job or two that I wish I would have done a little bit better, or stayed a little bit longer, or took the promotion. But in the end, I don't think I've ever really regretted the decision to leave a company. I don't think I've ever regretted, at least, once you get past the missing that paycheck, I don't think I've ever regretted it, because I was always going towards something. And I would never, well, I have once, twice in my life, quit a job with nothing else to do because I got in my feelings. But that's why I started this particular channel, was because I needed to prove to myself that I was serious about going full time into another space. And the best way to prove it to yourself is to gain confidence while you're doing it. Do you have the chops to do a thing? That chick, you'll say, nah, they didn't appreciate me while I was there. It be like that sometimes too. People, as my mother would say, you don't miss your water until your well runs dry. My mom got a whole bunch of sayings. My parents, bruh, they got some of the craziest sayings. And I catch myself saying them now. People look at me, what he just say? What is wrong with him? So going into next year, I'm curious. I just told y'all what my mind was. I want to go I'm building something over the next 2 years that I can become a full-time speaker, and I'm having to let go of the production side of me. I'm always going to have production space. I'm always going to I love creating. I'm a creator. I am a storyteller. So I'm always going to be creating, whether it's documentaries, but I want to do my own content. I don't want to go out and do people's product launches anymore. I don't want to go out and tell other people's the story or sales funnel or whatever they're doing. I want to create for me. And so I want to take my gifts, my skills, and I want to have my own production company, creating my own media, my own content. And more than likely, it's going to be centered around family. It's going to be centered around love and relationships and overcoming the struggle, becoming a better version of yourself. Toronto Riggins says, I love being an optometrist technician. Okay. COVID changed that. COVID changed a lot. I also love managing as well. I love the changes in career that I made. Yeah, good stuff. I like that. Yep. Said no. Monique says no, because I've always made a step closer to where I'm headed. I made friendships and was able to network with people in different spaces that lead me to where I'm going. And I think that's the rub for most people. When you are younger, you are more carefree. You don't have quite as much to lose. So, you can take more chances when you're younger. You have a commodity that people will kill for, which is time. Now, none of us know how much time we actually have, but when you are 21, the perception is that you got minimum 60 years to figure it out. You can take the next 10 years and just mess it all up, make as many mistakes, and still recover by the time you're 31, and then live a great hustle for the next 20 years, and then still be retired by 55 or even sooner, depending on what industry you go into. Youth has its privileges. But because there's so much time, you know, I was watching something the other day, and the girl talking about, she was like, "Yeah, I had a conversation with this older lady, and she was really helping me understand some things." And come to find out, the older lady she was talking about was 39, but the girl was 21. So I guess that's 18 years. A 39-year-old woman is an older lady to a 21-year-old. But that 18 years go by fast, and before you know it, that 21-year-old gonna be 40 herself. Time go by super fast. Super fast. And for the last 3 months, we've talked about personal development. We talked about becoming the best version of ourselves. We talked about adding value. Bobby says, how rude. Making ourselves more valuable so that when we go into spaces, people, even if they don't appreciate us, they don't want to lose us, because nobody wants to give up anything that's valuable, especially if they don't have anything to replace that. So just creating a higher value within yourself, improving your skill sets, improving how you get along and collaborate with other people, it makes you more valuable in the market. You say your daughter thinks being 24 is old. Yeah, if you 12, if you 10, yeah, 24-year-old can't, yeah. Yeah, it's all perspective. It is all perspective. And so one of the biggest things that I've wanted to do this year was as far as it relates to the morning motivation, was setting the intentions. That's what the gratitudes were for. Kobe year isn't old. You know what's crazy? I don't want to go back to C24. If I can go back to B24 again, I don't think I want to do it, man. Oh, because I was hard headed. I know everybody. Oh shit. Oh, okay, yeah. I get what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying now. She is 24 now. She thinking she old. Yeah. That's like me when I talk to my seniors, these 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds, and they say, "How you doing, bro?" I was like, "Oh, I'm doing pretty good for an old guy." And they always look at me like, "Oh, boy, shut up. I wish I was your age again." So I get it. It's all perspective. It is all perspective. But the intention is what I've been really focused on. You know, I told y'all yesterday about the guy, the lady who had the autoimmune disease. She was vibrant, bright, just traveling the world. If there was some death-defying feat or trick she could do, she would try it. And now she has severe rheumatoid arthritis, and is attacking all of her joints, all of her functions. And so now she's bedridden 80% of the time. You know, life will always throw us curveballs. Life will always do what life does. And if we're not intentional and proactive with what we want, we're going to find ourselves at the mercy of life. D-Rob said, "I'm leaving my 20s next year and I'm excited." He said, "I can't wait to turn 30. Oh, but yeah, man. D-Rob said he old too. But when you hit 30, bro, I'm going to tell you, your mind is already turned and shifted that way. I'll be honest with you. But when you, in that between 30 and 35, though, your whole perspective is going to change on a lot of things. So just keep an open mind, but be intentional about where you're going to. Yeah, Monique, I'm the same. I've had periods in my life, especially when I was 27. My best friend, the guy I spent the most time with when I was 26, 27, was 52. And this guy gave me so much game. So much game. He helped me through some tough spaces in my life. We vibed really good together. And it was a very mutually beneficial relationship. Now, I didn't think that I brought anything to the table. But what I did for him is I brought energy. I brought that youth. I brought the excitement. I took the mundane pieces away from his life the times when we were together. Because he had sons that were my age, one that was actually older. And they could not understand why they pops was rocking with this young cat like me. They pull up in the yard, in my car in the yard. They come in the house, I'm sitting at the table eating food. Me and they pops upstairs laughing. Yeah, that one of them didn't really like me, didn't care for me too much. I think he believed I was trying to come get that inheritance. Exactly. OGs are the best, man. You learn so much. It's easy. It's an easy relationship. There are no expectations, and we're both given whether we realize it or not. Because when you're older, you giving advice, trying to help the next person come along. When you're younger, you get young and dumb and just trying stuff. And that's invigorating. So you see an older person with a younger person, it may seem weird optically, but there's an exchange there. There's an exchange, which is why you always want to be adding more value to yourself so you can give more value. And when you can give more value, people want you around a little bit more. Hey, bro, my 20s were some of the most traumatic times of my life. I can't even lie to you. My 20s, man, they were some of the most dramatic or traumatic times of my life. Because it's that age where you think you kind of got it figured out. You know you don't know everything. You know you're just trying to go out into the space and figure it out. But that's when you're the most headstrong. That's when you got the most energy. That's when you got the most to prove. And because of that, when you were as stubborn as I was, you make a lot of mistakes. You make a lot of mistakes, and you got to recover. I had this one friend, he used to call it the 7-year bid. You know, you get a car repossessed. You lose something. It hits your credit for 7 years. And so for the next 7 years, you starting over. You paying higher interest rates. Your money not going as far. And you find yourself in between jobs more often in your 20s. And if you got a family, forget about it. If you got a family and you go through all that, that's a stressful situation. Yep, I am a fan of the cigar lounge, bro. My seasoned citizens. Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about. Old and decrepit. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Decrepit. No clue what that means. That's one of those words that just misses me for some reason. Oh, she got it. Ding. Seasoned citizens. Yeah, man, I'm gonna take that one. Yeah, so it's a great combination, man. And I know had it not been for those seasoned citizens, those OGs, I would have struggled a lot longer than I did. And they all kept telling me the same thing. They said, "Hey, man, there is no limit. You can do whatever you want. You just got to believe you can." The Crypt Keeper. That must be something you old people used to watch, because I don't know what that is. The Crypt Keeper. What's that? What is the Crypt Keeper? But anyway, I know I said today is gonna be a free flow Q&A. Hey man, do y'all got some questions for me? You know, I do a lot of talking here. I do a lot of talking up here. And I don't mind doing it. I really enjoy. Goosebumps. Yeah, what are these references y'all making? Y'all acting like I'm over 40 or something. Shoot, me and D-Rob, we born the same year. He became a baby, and I became a man the same year. My birth. So y'all got any questions though? For real, for real, for real. What do y'all want to know, man? What y'all want to know? What y'all want to talk about? Okay, now I'm playing. I'm playing. Tales from the Hood was my joint. You little nigglets. Woo, woo, woo. Oh man, D-Rob, good question, bro. Really good question. D-Rob says, when you turn 30, how did you feel? What did you do? Man, when I turned 30, bro, it was, what year was it? Let me think. What was happening? It was somewhere the early 2000s when I turned 30, because that was the year my youngest son was born. And that year, I had I had an epiphany, man, of sorts. It was kind of a midlife crisis in a sense. That was the time that I decided I wanted to upgrade my life. Because like I told you when this show first started, bro, I was I was I was on my second marriage and my third kid by the time I was 23. By the time I was 23, I was living a full grown man life. I had mouths to feed, I had responsibilities. And so I missed some foundational building times for myself because it was never about building me, it was about providing for the family. So when I hit 30, it was almost like I started at 21, but I still had a family in tow. So how do I provide for this family? How do I figure out who I am? And it was scary because I was noticing that who I was and the relationship that I was in, it wasn't meshing. It wasn't meshing. When I met her at 23, I was a totally different person. At 30, my whole mind is different. And she was the same person. So the thing that attracted me to her was no longer attractive. So I was going through a lot of turmoil, bruh. A lot of mental turmoil, a lot of emotional turmoil because I have a family now, but it ain't right. Something is off. We're not vibing. We want different things in life. But because of my upbringing, I was determined to be the best father that I could be. I was determined to be an everyday dad, no matter the cost. So I had, bro, it was a lot of mental anguish happening in my life during that time, a lot. But it was also the time. I'm gonna give y'all a little positive on that too. It was also the time when I fully became myself. I fully became responsible. I fully became accountable to my hopes, my dreams. I stopped blaming other people. I stopped expecting other people to ride for me harder than I was willing to ride for me. Because I realized my mother and father, they raised me. Their job is over now. They're still there going to give me support. They're still going to be there to help me when I needed things or some advice or counsel. They're always going to be my parents. But now it's on me. It's on me big time. Especially because I got these little ones. So it was a very defining year for me. I made some hard decisions that year. I decided that year who I would become. And ironically, that was the same year of the whole church fallout debacle. That bruh, 30 was a hell of a year for me. Great question, D-Rock. Great question. I became Jamon at 30. That's what happened. Monique says, "How do you feel? How do you feel seeing your kids grow and live their lives?" Oh, will we see you and Bobby on Fridays with the Glovers? Also, a very good question. I'll ask. I'll tackle the first one first. Um, because I had my children so early, and honestly, a lot of people in the military do have families pretty early. I'm not sure if it's the looming threat of going to war and dying, or you just bringing people into your life and you just happening. I don't know, but or because you in the military, you were easy lick. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but military families tend to start early. When people are just graduating college and starting their life at 24 and 25, most military families have two, three kids already. That's pretty normal. But watching my children go, it's been a trip for me because I talk so much. Because I give my kids, I tell them my dreams, I tell them my goals, I help them create theirs. And so a funny thing happened when my kids hit 14, 15, they started challenging me. They would hit me with well, Dad, you said you was gonna do this, but you ain't do it. I'm like, what? Wait, who are you talking to, first off? Who are you talking to, first off? Who are you talking to? You don't talk to me like that. Well, Dad, you said that if I was gonna do this, then I had to be true to myself and I had to be this. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I said it. Well, but you said you was gonna do this and you ain't did it. My kids started calling me out. And it hurt my pride a little bit, but I had to realize I'm not practicing what I preached. So watching my kids grow has been motivational. And I've raised my children to the space where if I died tomorrow, if I died 4 years ago, my kids had enough from me to have the balance they need to go out and be successful. They had enough. They've seen enough to have a practical guide. So not having a dad will be tragic. It will be hurtful. But my dad left me with some tools. But watching, man, my biggest joy is watching my children become parents, getting married and starting families. That has been one of my biggest joys because you realize the older your kids get, you didn't mess them up as bad as you thought you did. Yeah, you didn't mess them up as bad as you thought you did. And then you watch them be mentors and role models for other people. Still, I stay on my toes because they will still call me out. My sons often challenge me on certain things. And I have to understand that they're challenging me for them because I'm the role model. I'm their role model. And I'll be honest, sometimes I can get a little distant because I heard my schedule. So if I go through a couple of months where I'm just got my nose down, I'm checking in here, I'm checking in there, but I'm not really following up like I need to or like I should. But I'm always confident when I do go back and check in, they're right on task, they're right on mission because they had a good upbringing. They learned some valuable skills. So that's been good. Now, as far as the Glovers, I'm gonna go ahead and jump out on a limb. And I'm gonna say that there's gonna be some collaboration. Now it probably won't be until the new studio happens, When we get the new setup done, I'm going to make an executive decision. I'm going to make an executive decision. I'm going to bring her into the fold. It's not going to be often. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's probably not going to be often. But there will be something. And more than likely, it's probably going to be, because the format of the show is probably going to change a little bit. And so next week, I'm probably going to send out a link next week. And we're going to hop on for those who want to, I'm going to send out a Zoom link. Executive. Yep. I'm going to send out a Zoom link next week, right before the new year. And we're gonna all hop on a live, and we're gonna have some real conversations about stuff going into this new year. And it's not for everybody. It's not for the public to be a part of. If you're not a part of the family, it's for the family. And we're gonna have some really serious, fun conversations before. Plus, I don't want to leave y'all Friday and then be gone for as long as this particularly could last. So I do want to plug in at least once or twice, but just maybe offline, off of the YouTube space. But yeah, she gonna get co-opted into some stuff, whether she really want to or not. It's part of the duty. Part of the duty. That's your yes. I gotta dust off my Zoom. You ain't gotta dust off too much. I'm actually gonna be sending the link out. You gotta be able to click a link. So make sure your processor ain't all jacked up on your computer, and you ain't just. You gotta at least got a webcam and a decent mic. Wait, I missed that. What can you do? Kay a slick one. You gotta watch Kay. The girl has some wit, as they say. The girl got some wit, and and then you'll catch it on the way home. Like, wait, no, she didn't just say that. But anyway, yeah. But I'm gonna tell you, for those of y'all who don't know, my wife is a very, very skilled person. She's lived a couple different lives herself. And she has a lot of knowledge. She has a lot of knowledge. And so most times when we're together, my biggest challenge is keeping her from jumping off the bridge. Because she will go to the edge and look over, and sometimes she'll jump. Sometimes she'll jump. And I got to be there like grabbing her by the back of her shirt and picking her back up and said, no, babe, you can't do that. No, we can't do that. But for those of you who really don't know us that deeply yet, our wedding theme was crazy, boring love. And y'all can guess, I'm the boring one. I know you already can figure that one out. That's not easy. But because my wife is a recluse when it comes to social media and being out in these spaces, people think that I'm the crazy one. People think I'm the crazy one. But it's not true. It's not true. Y'all gonna find out real soon. D-Rob says, in the last 5 years, what were your saving methods? Seeing you and Bobby close on a house gave me motivation and goal to do that at 35. Is it possible? It's all possible, bruh. I'm going to be transparent without being too transparent in this moment. Let's see. What's the best way to start? Yeah, for sure. It's possible. We had this plan. We had this plan that we were going to buy a house by 2024, 2025. And so we spent a lot of money on the wedding that we had last year. And We accidentally bought this house this year. At least the beginning of the process. It was accidental. It wasn't in the cards for us to do it. We were still working on credit. We were still working on income to debt, situations, credit utilization. We was working on all the things because we just, we went to Jamaica. We did a destination wedding. We was there for 10 days. We had a reception when we came back. And that was an expensive time. And that's what we worked for outside of our everyday lifestyle. And this year, I'll be honest with you, it took us 6 months, actually maybe a little less, maybe 5 months to make the decision to buy a house. And when I tell you the cards just fell in place, the stars lined up, as they would say, and we found more house. We actually found the house that we really wanted. More than we knew we could get. And honestly, with how the process is, it wasn't even that much of a hassle. It wasn't that much of a hassle. Now, I say that because I didn't do all the looking at hundreds and hundreds of houses. I say that because I didn't talk to every realtor. I didn't talk to every person. But I've seen the process before. And I've seen it be way more complicated. And so it got to a point where I knew it was going to happen simply because we manifested so many things since we've been together. It's like clockwork. We set a goal. There is no time. This is the secret, D-Rob. When you plant a seed in the ground, right? If you don't know what seed you're planting, you have no idea how long it's going to take it to grow. If you planted tomatoes and somebody told you it was going to take you, 4 months to get tomatoes, well, when you come back and check it, you probably going to have some rotten tomatoes on the vine. But if you know what you want, if you have your vision board and I want that house, all right, then you Google, what does it take to get this house at this price point? You got to have good debt to income ratio, right? You got to have good credit utilization. Your mix of credit has to be good. So you just simply start doing those little things. And bruh, it took us 6 months to go from the thought of the house to actually getting the keys to the house. Credit wasn't perfect. Matter of fact, my score was actually low because I told you I reset. I had a repo that still hadn't fell off my credit. That 7-year prison sentence that I was talking about, that 7-year financial junk that I was talking about. So there is no secret formula. It's about knowing what you want, and you can get it, bro. Honestly, you can buy you a crib probably the next year or so if you really wanted one. I mean, you don't need as much house as we needed, and you in Texas too, man. Shoot, we was looking at houses in Texas early this year, and we're just like, man, we should maybe move out here. So, bro, you can get it now if you want. The Yo MTV crib, you want the 6,000 square foot. Okay, that might take you a little bit longer, depending upon what what your hustle is. But if you want something, you want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You can get those, probably a little less than 200,000. Your mortgage would be sitting somewhere around $1,000 or less. So it just all depends on what you want. But you got to know what you want first, though, bro. But you can get it. Ain't no time frame on it. You can get it. Oh yeah, I see. Excuse me. My the accidental was not the best word to use. It was definitely not accidental. What I'm meaning is, we had no plans on buying this year, and I was looking into buying a house for my mom. That's what I was actually looking into. But when they sent me the pre-approval letter, it was for so freaking much. I was like, wait a minute. I qualified for how much? And it just blew my mind. And then my mom decided she didn't want the house. And so my wife started looking at some stuff and she said, well, dog, baby, we pre-approved for that. Then we could probably do this or we can do that. I'm just like, yeah, let me think about it. Then we had another meeting. It was like, you know what? Let's see what's out there. Meanwhile, I went back off doing my 28 things. And my wife, she saw everything that was out there. I don't think there's a subdivision she didn't look into. I think we went through about 3 or 4 realtors. So no, definitely not an accidental project. We didn't just fall into a house. No, not what I mean. What I'm saying is we decided 6 months ago that we were gonna try to buy a house. And in 6 months we got it. Honestly, it wasn't even 6 months. And there was a lot of red tape, paperwork. Even the day before, they still asking, hey, could you sign this? Could you send this? Can you verify this? Because, 2008, that housing market boom, man, a lot of things changed. But because we were already dialed in to wanting a house, because we had already dialed in to fixing our credit, fixing our income, we already were dialed in on having a partnership together that we could talk back and forth and have these tough conversations. And because the hardest thing, honestly, is deciding what you want. Baby, I don't want no townhouse. She said, well, I know you, I don't want a townhouse either, but I don't want a townhouse. I'm sorry. But baby, we go, no townhouses. Let's find something else. But baby, I want this. Baby, I don't want to do that. But baby, I don't want to do that. Baby, how much? No, baby, I don't want to do that. But figuring it out, talking. That was a lot of work. And so my job was just not to mess it up, because we had already decided right before that time that she was better with the financial details than I was. Because I'm going to pay the bills. It might not be on that day that it's due. It might be 2 days early. It might be 3 days late. It depends on when I think about it. But because she's good with the spreadsheet, she's good with the calendar reminders, she's good with just setting up the small systems. You know what, boo? You excel at that, you take that. Cool. Well, babe, this is a system I think is best, and this is why I think it's best. Okay, I like that. All right, but I'm not used to doing it that way. Babe, trust me. Just trust me. Let's do it this way, and you'll see the reward. I'm like, all right, I trust you. All right, let's rock with it. I can't swipe my card. What do you mean I can't swipe my card? What? You know how hard I work and I can't spend, baby. No, I'm not saying you can't spend no money. What I'm saying is use this card, and so this is what we're gonna get. I'm just like, bruh, you doing too much. And then I got a notification from Credit Karma. Hey, your credit score just went up. Then I went to Experian. Whoa, wow. 1 month my score jumped like 40 points. I said, hey, babe, how we doing this thing again? I need to make sure I'm not messing this up. Well, we were already in process, bruh. It was a thought on the mind. It was something we was working toward. It's a difficult process to buy a home. It's a lot of barriers to entry. But the biggest thing, if anybody's thinking about a home, have stable income. And I'm not talking about, if you have a 1099, if you do 1099, you need to have at least 2 years of income. And whatever year's the lowest, they're gonna take that number. But if you have a W-2 and you think about buying a house, keep the W-2. It's easier to qualify on the income side. Decide on how much house you want, saving. It's a lot. I get it. It's a lot of different ways to save. It's a lot of programs out there, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, where you ain't got to come up with 20% on a down payment. Everybody ain't got $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 laying around. But a quick hustle though, bro, just blunt force trauma. This is not no sexy investing tip or nothing like that, but just blunt force trauma. You can hustle that up. If you know you want to buy a house in, what's the 2024 coming up? You want to buy a house in 2025 and you know you want to save up $10,000, $15,000, just get a part-time job, bro. And that job is only for the house. This job is earmarked for the house. Take that money, because you're not gonna make money off putting it in a savings account, and you're not gonna be there long enough for a long-term investment account. But I would still talk to an advisor or somebody who does the financial planning stuff. Can tell you there are some products like a CD. You might get a small return on a CD. You got a couple thousand in there, or because you can hustle up 10,000 pretty quickly if you got a job and that's all that job is for. Even if it's a part-time, working, 20 hours a week at $16 an hour, you can get you putting away at least $500, $600, shit, maybe $1,000 a month, depending on where you at and how much time you got. And if you can save $1,000 a month from your part-time job, that's $12,000 end of the year. All lenders don't require 20%. Some ask for 10. Some programs only ask for 5. Some don't ask for nothing, depending on the program. But it's just being intentional, man. Just being intentional. But if you're also interested, that's one of those private Zoom sessions that we can do. B, she could put you on, bro. Like I said, this is her thing. Monique said, I am JG. But I always paid the bills on time. I just like giving money away. Apparently, man, freaking interest fees and wow. Okay, yeah, no doubt. There's a couple things that we did to kind of 10x 10x our finances. So yeah, we can definitely share that. One of these days. Let us get settled though. Let us get settled and be in a place where we can actually do it. But definitely want to be offline, because too many fake gurus out here giving out advice. You never know what's real. You never know who's actually living what they said they was living, and then have no fruits of their labor. So. But facts. So I see, coming out of today's conversation, I see a couple things. There's a demand. There's a demand for Bobby Ed to be part of the show. There's also a demand. Hey man, y'all know the old saying, be careful what you ask for? Babe, where your business card at? Where your business card at? I walked in the house yesterday. I said, oh, you got a new business card. She said, I don't have a business card out. I said, it's right on the table. She said, what? It was a pack of gum that said extra. Oh, man. As wild as y'all think I am, I'm very low-key compared to her. I'm very low-key compared to her. And we compliment each other though, because I'm really stoic offline, just in real life, Unless we just really tight, we got history together. You might see a little different side of me, but in general, nah, I'm really low key, real stoic. I'm just chilling. Let's just say when I met her, her name was I called her a typhoon. Cause she blow into a room and she'll wreck that doggone room and then blow right back out. It's like, dang, what happened? Who was that? Oh man. So look, tomorrow we got one last day that we actually gonna do this. Oh man, don't believe it. I'm telling you, man. It's because I do a lot of talking. Just because I do a lot of talking, and you can't hear her voice. But trust and believe. Okay, quick story, because I know we got to go. Quick story. I'm filming at this concert. I'm filming at this concert. She's there. She's just social butterflying. She's mingling with people. They're all eating a tent, eating food. And she come finding me. She said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm eating." She said, "Under the stage? Why you sit under the stage?" Because I don't want to be around people. I am very antisocial in certain spaces. I'm just comfortable here. I'm just comfortable. But she's social butterflying it up. Because I never once told y'all that she used to model, right? So she's walked in New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week. She's been all over the place. Social butterfly. Y'all just don't know that side of her. But I'm telling you, she the one. She the one. Matter of fact, she's brought me up a little bit. And I had to pull her back a little bit because she's extra. Y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see it. The girl is extra. Most times when we sitting together, y'all think she the one doing this? That's me. I look at her like, what? Y'all just don't know. Oh, but y'all gonna find out. Y'all definitely gonna find out. Oh, so somebody getting bribed over here. Casey, I want a job on a production team. I played the fifth. Darkness. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's definitely it's a balance. It's a balance. Now that balance that we have, it works for us now. But early on, it didn't work for us. Whew, it did not work for us. Boy, I don't know how we still here, but we figured it out. Shout out to us. We figured it out. Because we didn't quit. We refused to quit. And that's what life is about. Drawing that line in the sand, declaring what you want, declaring who you are, and going out to make it happen. Nobody is given most things. Most things we got to go earn. We got to go figure out. We got to go make it do what it do. Yeah, man. And so as I said, you know, mentally, I'm in this weird place because I'm trying to figure out what was beneficial this year and what should I take into next year. And I thought about this show and I'm thinking, does this show really matter? Does it really help people? And I'm not talking about the numbers and you know, we have the same 12 to 15 people week in and week out, and I'm excited about that. Each video averages, you know, 60, 80 views, some over 100 views. And I'm not solely doing it for the numbers. I want to do it for the impact. Besides, at 7 a.m., you have to be dedicated to tuning in at 7 a.m. when there's so many other things you could be doing. So many other things. Whether it's with your children, getting them ready for school, getting yourself ready for work, or sleep. But you choose to be here, and I'm grateful. And I just want to make sure that what we do, it matters. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time because I'm trying to figure out a formula. Because I'm trying to set up systems and put things in place now that I can live a high quality of life and still help a maximum number of people that actually want to be helped. You know, this is a volunteer situation. And there's an unspoken contract between us. And once we perfect this, we're gonna take it to the next level and we're gonna grow. Right now, we just tilling the soil. We just planting seeds. Slow growth sometimes is the best growth because it lasts the longest. We're gonna travel. D-Rob, we coming to Texas, bruh. I'm telling you, we coming out there. Not sure when just yet, but we coming out there. and we're gonna work everywhere. Because, like I said, in the next 2 years, I'm transitioning to full-time speaking. I'm gonna have my own production studio. May even be doing production, but I'll have people that do that stuff. You know, it'll be a business arm of what I do. But my passion is in speaking, is inspiring, is in motivating. And I know I have a lot of work to do because I'm still growing myself, because you never arrive. But as we're on this journey together, I hope that you're getting the same benefit, and that you're learning and you're growing and you're creating more value within yourself. And so tomorrow, we're going to do a recap tomorrow. We're going to talk about where we've been and then potentially where we're going. So Friday, tomorrow, will be the last official episode. However, we will be touching bases offline. So y'all have a great day. This is Friday Junior. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just make the day the best you can, no matter what. In the words of my guy Health Talk. But y'all be blessed, man. I'll see y'all in the morning. Peace.